we're back right here at Three Reasons Why. It's your boy, the 209 Tiger, just a regular dude with regular problems, chilling with my broskies.
Yeah, this is Chris, CDP 209, Stockton, California, born and raised. Right now living in Las Vegas.
Yo, what's going on, man? It's your boy Marcus Reader, Common Sense Marcus, man, out here in Sacramento. Originally from 209, my mama, shout out to my moms. We about to get into another episode. Let's get it.
All right, today we're going to start off right here talking about fatherhood. Fatherhood in general, fatherhood in today's society, and just going forward, what will be the future, you know what I'm saying? Fatherhood. So let's start it off. For me, one of the things I want to know is today, in today's society, as a father, how do you guys feel in the current climate of COVID, murder hornets, bubonic plagues, political protests, and then elections? How has the landscape changed for you two as far as when we became fathers, when you guys became fathers, to now, the challenges that we faced back then as far as today? And I'll let CP kick this off.
Challenges that we faced back then. Our kids were babies, so the only challenge that I had back then, I was personally out. Got the wife right here.
Shout out to the wifey.
She's all on me about this one. They were babies, I was enjoying every moment, but I want to say they saved my kids, saved my life, and I didn't even know it at the time. You know what I mean? Gave me responsibility. Gave me knowledge. It just taught me how to grow up and be a man. You know what I mean? Took me a while to learn, so I'm along the way, still learning. But yeah, they saved my life without me even knowing it at that time. That was a lifesaver. My wife and my kids. That's about it right now. Every day is a different day. Every day is learning. I love them to death, though. Go ahead, man.
Absolutely. Shout out to our followers, everybody listening. Today we got a special episode of Fatherhood. To answer your question, Tiger, how I felt when I first knew I was gonna be a father, I can't lie to y'all, man. I got drunk. I got so damn drunk, I couldn't even stand up. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to the porcelain gods, as they say. You know what I'm saying? I think I was doing dark and clear at the same time, like doing back-to-back shots. That's when I found out I was gonna be a dad. But that was that first initial, like, oh crap, like picking up off what CP said, like just responsibility just flooded you immediately. Like, man, I can't worry about my grind no more. I gotta worry about what's inside. What come to find out later on my future wife's belly. But those first initial moments when your son or daughter's born, man, it's just a flood of emotions. I'm not a very emotional person, but a flood of emotions just come down, and for me, it was just like, wow, man, this little being blinks, shits, breathes, eats, relies all on me. If I mess up, their whole life is gone. So that was my first initial thoughts of like doing that. Then the everyday, like, buying diapers, formula, breast milk, whatever, clothes. If you're not a man already, it catapults you into manhood immediately. Like you ain't got no time to be like, what am I gonna do tomorrow? Like, you should have been thinking about what you're gonna do next month.
Yeah,
2 months from now, like, they ain't gonna stop breathing, eating, or shitting. So you gotta take care of all that. Mm-hmm. But shout out to my kids. I'm not gonna say their names or nothing like that for those Pizzagate motherfuckers. But I first became a father in 2012. Shoot, what's that, like 8 years ago? So I was 29, 37 right now, man. That just in that short amount of time, in those 8 years, I went from boys to men. That definitely impacted me pretty big time. But to answer your original question, from there to now, it's a whole different world. I mean, you guys got older kids than me, but it's a whole different world. I still got under 10-year-olds, so they still playing video games and jumping on trampolines and stuff like that. But that responsibility, that constantly thinking like, what's next? What am I gonna do next for him? How am I gonna make tomorrow better than today? That pressure is always on me. I don't know about you, Tiger. How you feel?
Well, it's like Nip said, the marathon continues. It's like it just never ends. Like once you become a father, you just always a father. The only thing you do is become a grandfather. I mean, for those, like I said, I have 6 kids, so it's like, yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. But I think the the way I handle and attacked it has changed very like over the years. At first I think I was more in line of like I wanted to be like a drill sergeant and just have respect, and I didn't really care about anything else. Like then it was like, well, I want my kids to love me, and I got to start making personal connections because I don't want them to hate me and grow up. I want them to be like a friend, but it's also hard when you're working all the damn time, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. So it's just like those little challenges. And then, we've all come up together because I was a young father. So it's like when I didn't have it like that, you know what I mean? It was like they know they remember those times as far as now. And I'm not saying that we have it great now, but you know what I mean? It's a lot better than it was in 2004, 2006, 2008, 2010, and so on, and that's it, just the journey, you know what I mean? And it's about just evolving as a person and as a man, it's like, separating, when you're young, there was a lot of weekends where it was just like, I just want to be out with my friends, still living in the youth. And it's like, you have to fight that to kind of understand, like, well, these dudes one day are going to be in my position. They're going to have their own kids. And then, you know what I mean? So it's like, I need to focus my time, even though they don't have kids, on my kids, because one day that's what they're going to do. And once I started grasping that, it was like, there's, like, all my free time should go towards my family and my kids when I'm not working. I think that's when we were able to hit big strides as a family. And then as far as today's climate, it's like, man, I mean, it's you. I struggle with, it's like I don't want my kids to be on electronics all day, but when you can't take them nowhere, it's kind of hard to be like, well, or read a book or whatever. Well, the bookstores, depending, might not be open,
Right.
or I can't take the, what I mean? They say it might not be safe to take them out to go get a book that they could pick out.
Mm-hmm.
So, things like that, keeping them entertained, trying to keep their mind from being depressed, still trying to be social active. And, it's like, how could you teach them about the joy of life when they're confined to their house? Me, I go to work. I still go to work every day, even though this fool Gavin Newsom like shut stuff down. My job has always been open. Positive coronavirus tests or not, we always working, which we've had
Right.
5. I don't know why they don't shut us down, but we've had 5 so far. Um, but yeah, that's it. And it's like we're in unprecedented times. You have to go back to, the Spanish flu to find something to find a climate where it was similar to what we got today. Because H1N1, y'all remember, things were still kind of, they didn't shut nothing down. You know what I mean?
You
So it's
got it.
like,
Got
yeah, it was just like, well, it's out there. Be safe. You know what I mean? Stay away from mosquitoes. What was that, West Nile? Like, stay away from mosquitoes, because they transmitting something. But it wasn't like stay in your house because, you're at risk of, this and that, like today's society.
right, right. Speaking of fatherhood, like I said, the dynamics of being a father now, you guys got bigger families to me, you know what I'm saying? I just got the two kids, one boy, one girl, wife, the nuclear American family. I got a half a dog running around here somewhere. You know, having more kids than new. What's the biggest challenges, CP, that you tend to have having more kids than the two that I have? I don't know how many you want to say.
All my kids got different personalities and different likes and dislikes. So trying to find something, trying to find one thing that everybody could do and everybody could enjoy it. far as going places, as far as food, as far as watching TV. Just trying to find something that everybody do and that they can enjoy. That's probably the biggest challenge because everybody has their own. All four of mine have different personalities, so that's been a challenge. And it's a new age right now, man. Teenagers is different. Teenagers is way different than when I was a teenager. You know, they way different. They got access to all, the online stuff. I'm just learning about all this online activity and all that, and being on camera and all that. So, social media. I'm new to all that, and they just advance. My youngest probably could teach me something on this stuff. So, probably just learning the new ways, the music, the dress, all the way to the crazy ass dances they be doing. And
Speaking of the dances, how do you guys feel about your children on social media? I don't know if your children are on there yet, Marcus, but mine are, and it's like it's kind it's like it's scary, as a parent, because you hear about all these things with like TikTok and catfishing, and you're like, I have to, sometimes I got to be like, what my daughter's looking at, or what they're saying, or maybe they're, sometimes they're just on YouTube or playing these games like Roblox or Fort, whatever, but you never know who they're playing with in today's society, and that's the scary
Right.
part. What do you guys think about today, parenting during the social media age? Because it's like our kids are drawn to it. It's just like it's something like maybe you can slow down, but I think deep down we know we ain't gonna stop it. Eventually, they're gonna be full blown on social media like everybody else.
mhm, I
Yeah,
think
off top, yeah, yeah. Nah, it's like you said, it's a different era. Like back in my day, you had to have that GI Joe, you had to have that Transformer. Now you got to have that Fortnite character or that Twit TikTok dance or whatever it is. But to answer your question, as far as my baby girl, man, I ain't gonna lie, she doing some of these dances on TikTok, and she bad at it. I mean, she over there got rhythm. I'm like, oh my god.
mhm,
So you know what I'm saying. If I see that, I know there's some sick mofos out there seeing it,
Yeah.
but luckily right now that we got all their accounts on private, so only like myself or my wife or their cousins can see that. But eventually she gonna get to the point where like, why am I on private? Why I ain't got no likes? I want these likes. I want these followers, and I don't know how I'm gonna handle that, man. Y'all led the way in that aspect. I hope I could try to shelter them as much as possible, but I don't want them to live in a bubble, and so because eventually they're gonna have to pop that bubble and then be running around with chickens with their head cut off. But it's definitely scary. I'll give you an example. The other day, my son was playing Fortnite like he always does, and he talking to some girl, and he over there trying to fix his voice like, hey, yeah, hey, baby, how you doing? Watch me no scope this girl real quick. Talking all like this. I walk in, boy's face redder than a tomato, looking bad. I'm like, I had to pull him to the side, man. Like, hey, you don't know who you talking to. Oh, daddy, that's Lily. It's a girl. Man, you don't know if they have a voice changer. That could be a 42-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful. Don't give out no information. Just play the damn game. But it's just weird that I gotta, or it's not weird. It's sad that I gotta think like that. That we gotta protect our kids from themselves. Sometimes it's just a different realm, man. It's just differently. I want them to go outside and play like we did, but like CP said, the technology just jammed down our throats, so we jamming down their throats. But I don't know how I'm gonna stop her, especially my girl, from out there doing renegade, renegade, renegade. So I don't know if y'all want to speak on that. CP, you got older daughters. How do you handle that?
I was, I was about to say that. All you really could do is like both of y'all. All you like both of y'all said. All you really could do, what I found, is warn them, but just give them the raw uncut. That's what I do. I just give them the raw uncut and just warn them because like if you shelter them, the more they're gonna want to go out and find it. Like when they're babies, you tell them not to touch something, they always going to touch it. They want to find out. They want to know. They want to feel it. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with things in life. When they get older, they gonna want to know. You keep them from going outside. They're gonna be trying to sneak out the house. You know, or go to their cousin's house. That's what I'm going through right now. They go to their cousin's house. It's open doors over there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they like being over there. You know, but as far as like sheltering, like nah, that usually backfires when they get older. So
Yeah.
give them the raw, uncut truth. Let them know, and then if they choose to cross that road, you know, be there to help. But you know, the raw, uncut truth ain't never gonna hurt.
Right,
Yeah, because
right.
no, I said, that's all we really can do is just kind of manage and just kind of hope, you know what I mean? Just let them know of the evils and dangers in this world because, there is fools out there, you know what I mean? Some men pretending to be, small children or whatever. You got these like Epstein cats, you know what I'm saying? That's what they're looking for is to try to like, recruit or get a picture or something, so it's like you have to be very careful in today's society. But
And that's right, Carl. Epstein is more than one.
hmm
It's
yeah,
probably the next door neighbor probably doing it. You know,
like they said, he was a small player in a big trafficking ring. So they're saying that there is other people out there doing it more major than him.
believe it. Biden island right across the water. I heard.
Ooh. Oh, news breaking, news breaking.
Hey, I didn't hear
But
about.
nah,
I didn't know about that. Yeah, he got an island. I believe it's Biden. The island is like right across. They like neighbors.
Hey, Joe Biden said, if I don't vote for him, I'm not black. I'm half black, but I guess I won't even be half black if I don't vote for Joe Biden. You know what I mean? I guess I'll just be half Mexican and half to be determined or something, half
Yeah.
other Pacific Islander. Didn't that what it used to be back in the day?
I guess. Just put me down as other because I ain't voting for Joe Biden. But now bringing it back to parenthood, I want to ask y'all like when you first became a father and started thinking about like how you was gonna do it. Like we was always raised differently, similar but differently. Like the ultimate question I had asked my wife was like, and maybe y'all had the same one. Would you rather have your kids fear you or love you? And which one do you think is more effective, or you want a little bit of both, or what? I'll let you pick it up, CP.
Well, they say in the Bible. I don't know the script like exactly, but they say in the Bible when you start to fear the Lord, that's when the Lord that's when you start gaining the Lord's respect. You know what I'm saying? When you fear somebody, that's a show of respect. You know what I'm saying? But then you want your kids to love you. So
Yeah.
it's a hard thing because you got to be kind of strict. You can't just be cupcaking sugar all the time with the kids because when they go out into the real world, it ain't gonna be like that. You know, they go to job, they gonna run home to mama and daddy. They didn't give me the job. Mama and daddy can't go to their job and force them to give them the job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They late for work, they get fired. You know what I'm saying? Mama and daddy can't go up there and get them their job back. You know what I'm saying? So sugarcoating and all that stuff, that's a child abuse to me too. Because you don't grow up in the world some shit like that,
Yeah.
which is not. But then at the same time, they spill some water on the rug and you beat the shit. That's totally wrong. So you gotta find it a even scale. You know what I'm saying? So
Also,
So you more right down the middle, or you lean one more direction or the other,
I'm kind of
or you got a new path that you pick your own path. Like
it depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. As far as sugarcoating shit about how the world is, nah, I'm leaning towards more the raw, uncut, like you know, say rated R. Like
yeah, yes,
they're gonna make a lot of like they're gonna make a lot of decisions, and they're gonna have to make them decisions right there at that split second. They ain't gonna have time to call. They ain't gonna have time to come home. They're gonna be out in the public, and they're gonna have to make split second decisions right there. And a split second decision could destroy your life. You know, I did something. I did something at UOP. It was a split-second decision.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
They put up my ass for a while, for some, let me just say decades, for what I did at 19. You know? So a split-second decision, man. You just gotta be raw and cutting, just give them that common sense, you know? Like I tell them, before you make a decision, always think, did your mom congratulate you for doing it? Would your father congratulate you for doing it? Just think that before you make a move. I think you have a pretty good success rate as far as getting into some unnecessary shit. Because when you get into unnecessary shit out there, so-called friends, they're gonna be gone. I went away on vacation, you know. I ain't get no letters from nobody. I remember I got out. Asked my mom. People I used to be with every day in Sacramento, you know. None of them stopped by, you know. Hey, how you doing? What happened to them? You know what I'm saying? None of that. My mom didn't get none of that. So, you know, you gotta pick and choose your friends, man. And you gotta move. I'm not telling y'all, I'm just telling the people out there, you gotta pick and choose your friends because all of them really ain't your friends, man. They using you. They using you like you played a video game, play Grand Theft Auto. That's how they using you in real life. Hey, go over there and do this, and they see you getting in trouble. Okay, they move on. Your ass gets sent off. Your life ruined. 14, 15 years old. So you gotta be.
Shout out to the listeners, man. CP dropping knowledge on y'all. Y'all better pick it up, man. He laying it down like bricks, man. How about you, Tiger, man? How you feel, man? Going to the parenting, like you lean to the left, you the belt, the rod, or you lean to the hey, let daddy kiss those boo boos for you, or you right down the middle. You got your own way. What's Tiger's way of parenting?
Well, like I said, at first it was like drill sergeant, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. And then I ain't gonna lie, like over, you know what I mean? Like probably during the middle, you know what I mean? I got soft in a way of like, you know, it's like it's cool, but you know what I mean? At the same time, it's like I want everybody to enjoy and whatever. Now I've just kind of gone all the way to the other side. It's like my kids are just free thinking or whatever. They're not doing whatever, but it's like I'm more like I just want them to enjoy themselves now. I just, you know what I mean? I want to be part of that enjoyment. And I was before. It's not like it was just like I was just standing over them, whatever. I was maybe just trying to give them certain structure and discipline that I didn't have, you know, but I didn't know how to handle it because I wasn't even because you know you know I wasn't a father, so it's like I was just a rookie in the game, but like as they got like let's say as they're older, I see more characteristics because I got 3 boys, 3 girls. In my sons, I see my characteristics, so I kind of think I can manage them like you know what I mean? Cause like I know whatever because it reminds me of myself. So I kind of think like I know how to like they call it man management, you know, like you know what I mean in soccer, you know what I mean? It's like okay, like you individual, you know what I mean? So I kind of lean towards that more than like harsh discipline, but I also think my kids have a sense of you know, here's the line. And a lot of times they get like really close to like that line, but they make sure they do good not to cross it. You know what I'm saying? And they're getting old, and you know they're getting older, so you know some of the verbal, you know, I mean some of the verbal, you know, intercourses that we have, they get to that line. You know what I mean? They're maybe some of their mothers sometimes, but they don't cross it like it. You know, my kids to me, I don't know what they do you know, that I don't know about, but they're, you know, they're generally good kids. But what I want to know is, you know, from you guys, why or why not will you guys tell them, for example, the real about school? Do you guys think it's right to let your guys' kids go to school and believe all that bullshit they used to feed us? Or are you just gonna let them know from the gates, like, look, kind of like I don't go full in like that, but I do kind of let my kids know, like, you know what I mean? It's okay to do what you got to do for these paper letter grades, but also know that this is some bullshit.
Right. Yeah, I'll answer that question real quick. I just want to answer my own question as far as the rod or the love on my side. Lie, it's the rod. Right now, I got young kids. It's strictly the rod. Like I got to put that discipline down. For me, I look at it as like foundation. I got to build that foundation solid because you ain't. I don't know if I'm gonna be around tomorrow, so I want them to remember what I put down yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And if you acting a fool and you spill that milk, and you know you shouldn't have grabbed that milk in the first place, well, I'm coming down. Now I might not come down with the belt, but I'm gonna come down with like some kind of lesson constantly. Because the way I was raised, like I said, I was raised by my knuckleheaded daddy. He gave up it when I was a teenager. Shout out to my uncles, helped me, my moms helped me. But there was lessons, those hard lessons I learned at a young age. They didn't hit me till I was 24, 25, 26. Like, oh shit, maybe I should save X amount for rent. Oh crap, maybe I shouldn't be hanging around with them or this. They like you said, CP earlier. Those ain't my real friends. You know what I'm saying? People run or whatever. So right now for me, I just put the strictly rod down. But like I text y'all the other day, doing the rod ain't gonna work neither. Like I'm not enjoying my kids when I do that. I'm not down on their level. So I text y'all the other day. Somebody text me, and lately, right now, I spend at least an hour. I try to do at least a minimum hour, maybe a little bit more with them, doing whatever they want to do. My little girl want to play Barbies. Well, we Barbieing it out. My son want to do Fortnite. Well, I'm just sitting there watching him play Fortnite. Whatever it is, I'm trying to get more to that loving side, that hey, it's cool pop side. Because, like I told y'all, like I tell everybody, I don't know if I'm gonna be here tomorrow, a month from now. I don't want to have no regrets. Like maybe that ride was too heavy, but it was definitely always ride for me. So I'm trying. I guess I'm in that transition period. Like, hey, it ain't that serious if you made a mistake, you know, as long as we learn from the mistakes. But to answer your question that you just asked, Tiger, as far as schooling, like it's just like you said, man. Like I do homeschooling. Shout out to all the homeschooling parents out there. But we get packets of stuff that they gotta know, what you think they should know. You know, they just flood you with all this information. And I'm 100% real with them. There's no sugarcoating on that aspect. If they be like, hey, we went to the moon in 1967, I'd be like, they say we went to the moon. Now, Daddy didn't go to the moon. I don't know if he went to the moon or not. But to get a B plus, you got to put Armstrong went to the moon. You got to play that game, you know. Because I try to tell my son, especially my son, is like 2 plus 2 is 4. We all know that. But why is it 4? Start thinking. Don't be a parrot. Don't just repeat answers. Start thinking about what the answers is or why there is. You know, so that's how I do the schooling because there's a lot of they try to program just like TV we were talking about last time. When it comes to schooling, they try to program us. Like I think there was one my daughter having. Shout out again to homeschooling, but she's kindergarten. They didn't tell you the picture, but there was 2 adult women and one little girl. She had a color, and I was like, nah, you ain't coloring this garbage. So you know, I definitely as far as controlling, as far as the schooling, I think homeschooling I have a little bit more injected to be like, nah, you don't see this, yeah, you're gonna see this, but I constantly tell them like that's what they think or that's what they want you to know. This is what daddy thinks. Now I never put my facts or never put my opinions as facts. I want them to explore it themselves, but I'm strongly like, I don't know. Double check that. I don't know about you, CP, when it comes to schooling, like if you just full blown, go ahead, they right, that professor's right or not. But me, I'm like, hell nah, they a regular person.
I think my thing is like I tell them it's bullshit, but you still want to know. Cause this is like boxing, like you know what I'm saying. You still want to study your opponent and see where your opponent's coming from.
Yeah.
See where the area, what areas he gonna try to sting you in, and be aware of them. So you still, even though you know it's bullshit, you still want to learn it. You know what I'm saying? You want to know what your enemy is trying to do, where they coming from. You know. So yeah, I agree with them going to school and all that stuff. Just learning both sides of the game. You know what I'm saying? Learning all different positions in the field. You know, learning the whole playbook. You know, just like football players. Some wide receivers, they know all the quarterback plays. They know what the tight end's supposed to do. They know what the offensive lineman's supposed to do. They know everything. So just in case they get thrown up in there, they know exactly what to do. They ain't gotta just go study or just stand there looking stupid. They already know what to do and go with the flow. You know. So yeah, you can never have too much knowledge. You know, no matter how old you are. You could be an old wise man. You can still learn something new from a newborn baby. You know. Never have too much knowledge. Even though some knowledge is bullshit, you never know too much. That's what I think.
That's true. Y'all kids going to public school and everything. Shout out to public schools and the parents, making it happen. Like I said, I'm homeschooling. But how do y'all feel just public school? How do y'all feel sending y'all kids to school and they coming back? I guess not really different than the way you sent them, but with different ideas, different knowledge. Like, how do you guys address that?
Like for me, it's one of the reasons I do like my kids going to school, like just for society reasons, to meet people, and eventually they're gonna, how it is, evolve. You know what I mean, into whoever they're gonna be. It's like like the culture shock. For me, it was like going to Webster Middle School. Shout out Webster Middle School. And when you start meeting people from different areas, you're like, yo, I need, it's like okay, and then you go to high school, and it's like you're a clique, and it's like I want them to have those times. You know what I mean? I like that part, and I'm like, learn your numbers and learn things you're gonna need to make money business wise. But as far as like social studies and who discovered America and we landed on the moon and dinosaurs and other things, I'm just like, dude, don't even worry about that. You know what I mean? But do what you got to do for the grades. I'm not telling them to like just rebel against the system, but you know what I mean? It's like unless you're going into those specific fields, like you're going to be whatever, but that's not even real history. You know, I don't believe they landed on the moon the first time, and I don't, we know Christopher Columbus didn't discover America, so why are you still teaching the kids that? Like Christopher Columbus discovered America. It's like that, like, and they're going to continue to teach it, even though they're saying they know it's wrong. Even though his statue is getting torn down, they're going to continue to feed that to my children. That's the stuff I don't understand. But as far as just like the way like the school interaction, now to be honest, Marcus, to get back to what you were saying, I could be homeschooling with you pretty soon with this, with what they're trying to do with sending kids back to school right now. So that might be like the next phase. You know what I mean? We might have to start homeschooling here because I ain't gonna go let my kids take a unproven, untested coronavirus shot. And at the same time, the way things are going, it's like, well, they can be in school, but the school seems so crazy, like they don't know what's going on. It's almost better if they're just at home. Because I don't even think you can get the structure from school right now. Because they don't have a plan.
Right. What about you, CB?
I don't even personally. I don't even know with all this. Like you said, the statues getting thrown down and took down and all that stuff, and stuff coming out to be false. All the teachings and all that stuff. I don't see how the teachers gonna push that curriculum. You know what I'm saying? They might have to change their whole curriculum before they could even restart school, because kids is gonna be up in there like bullshit, whatever. So they're gonna have to change that before they even think about going to school. But also I agree with Carl about the shots. Nah, I can't do the shots. But I got a thing with my oldest daughter. She does ROTC. That with my middle daughter, what I'm saying, she in going into seventh grade, and my youngest daughter, I could probably still put them in homeschool. But my oldest daughter, I don't know. But I don't agree with the shot stuff. I don't think I didn't like them last year, because I don't know if y'all remember last year. It was like lines all around. We got like little, the little trailers. They had trailers outside the hospital. It had lines all across the parking lot. And I thought it was crazy just for the flu shots. So I don't even know about this shot. And I just learned, like, the lady, her kid had a flu shot, and she said he immediately like had autism symptoms immediately after he took that shot. So, and that's the flu shot. So I'm pretty sure this shot gonna be cranked up. So
it's gonna be the flu shot on steroids.
Yeah, and then I heard, like, the 5G makes you feel sick, like you got the flu, You go to the hospital, they give you the shot, and that's when you get the COVID and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? They give it to you through the shot that you think that you're getting a vaccine for. So, you know, it might be another spike when school starts if people
But at some point,
kids ain't gonna follow them rules.
Nah, not at all. Yeah, they ain't gonna be wearing no mask in the classroom. Little Billy ain't gonna take that mask off real quick. Real quick about the shots though. Yeah, one reason. Go ahead, CP. My fault.
I said the mask gonna be down around their chin. They ain't gonna be wearing them masks or washing their hands or social distance. Nah, they got good luck with that.
Yeah, you can't do no trazies at lunchtime no more. Like I'll give you my ho for your cupcake. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? No more trazies. Yeah, yeah. But now, real quick about the shot. The main I'm against all shots. If you want to get a shot, get a shot. That's up to you. But don't force it down my throat. That's the whole reason why we do homeschooling, because they had the regular what is it, like mom shot or chicken pot shot, all these shots, and I'm common sense. Like if you ain't sick, don't give me no shot. I
Yeah.
don't need no shot to join your club, the shot club. Especially when I hear all this bad results coming behind. Like you want to give your kid a shot, more power to you. But I'm not playing Russian roulette with my kids. Especially, give you a personal story. Especially when my son was born, they were gonna give him some shot, some like vitamin D shot, like so he doesn't get Jonas when they're first baby. Like my son's probably like 12 hours old, ready to give him a shot. I was like, hold on. Before you give my son that shot, put that same shot in your arm. She looked at me like I was speaking Chinese, and I was like, exactly, back up, back up. I'll sign all waivers, say no shots, no shots. So
Mm-hmm.
if they don't want to get their own Jonas shot in their own arm, don't try to miss me with all that Corona shot or mump shot or any kind of shot. For me, shots are if you sick. My kids are, I ain't gonna say the age, but they X amount of age, they healthy all their lives. Your kids may have shots, they healthy all their lives. We don't need no Corona shot, especially to go to school. Is the teacher gonna get a shot? Is the principal gonna get a shot? Is the janitor gonna get a shot? Is the police officer who's on the campus gonna get a shot? So I don't know, but that's just real quick about those shots. But one question I want to ask y'all is like, from when we was raised to the way we're raising our kids now, like as society, do you think like we were raised right? Do you think we raising the kids right now? Do you think it was all messed up? Do you think our parents was raised right? Like how do y'all feel about like society from back then, from when we was kids to now? Do you think we doing the same job, worse job, better job? How y'all feel about that?
Um, as far as respect, I think we were raised right. I think our generation, probably the last generation, that show respect to elders.
Shout out to the 80 babies. 80
Hey,
babies.
hey, woman,
Yeah.
and you know, hey, how you doing and stuff like that. Or you see an old lady struggling, you gotta help her. I think our generation was the last ones to do that. So in that aspect, yeah. But the other aspects, I think our parents were, I want to say brainwashed, but closed-minded about being open to the society that we were growing up in. They were stuck in their old ways and kind of like machines that are not gonna ever get used to the new ways of life. And I think that's where they probably went wrong, not being open-minded toward raising us. But as far as respect, yeah, I wish we could go back to that. But these days there's a lot of fatherless homes. The welfare, keeping the father out the home. Got the women on welfare. We don't need no man. I don't need no man. Fuck your daddy. And then the feminism is on at a high rate for males, young males these days, because they sitting around watching their mama all day, every day. That's a male superhero now, because only mama's in the house. You know. So yeah. But as far as respect, I feel our parents did a good job at that, and I just wish it would go back, like that we could get it back, because right now, even with both parents in the house, I think social media is raising our kids right now.
I think I think our generation was our era might have been the last, maybe the one after us, the last of like the fear of getting the shit slapped out of you in public. You know what I mean? Because this generation don't have fear of that because fuck, ain't that like that's like a crime now? You know what I mean? It's like the parent is scared. You know, you got parents scared to raise their kids the way they were raised because of like, fuck, you know, they're gonna take my kids, or is someone gonna, you know, if I discipline my kid and you know whatever, they're gonna call CPS or you know you know what I mean, something at school, and it's like now there's so many people in home life, and I'm not saying that that concept was a wrong concept because we have so many children being abused. You know what I mean? So some children need to be taken care of their parents. And before I go any farther, shout out to all the single moms who got to play the dad role, and shout out to all the single fathers who got to play the mom role. You know what I'm saying? Just because we fathers don't mean we ain't got love for you single moms neither. That got to do both, because there's some super moms out there as also super fathers who's doing it on their own. But you know, I think that's it as far as like our generation had fear. Like I wasn't somebody who was whipped or slapped in public or really even ever, you know what I mean, behind closed doors, but there was always that fear that it could happen.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if I go too far, like it could happen anywhere, anytime, any moment. It don't matter who's around.
Right.
So it's like, you know, that classic line, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'll whip you in front of your friends. Like that's real. You know what I mean? You know, it's like, and that did happen to me. You know, I believe I believe I was spanked with a branch in front of Lottie Grunsky School by my pops, and then yeah, people watched it. You know, it was like, you know, and that was maybe I could probably count on one hand or two hands the time I was probably ever spanked, but that was one, and it's like, you know, after that one, it could happen. So don't test your luck.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with both of you guys. Like growing up in the early '90s, you know what I'm saying? Just fear. Like I'll give you a story. Like that respect was big time. I was going to Lincoln Elementary. Shout out to Lincoln Elementary. And my auntie was the yard duty teacher, and I did something stupid. I've always been a class clown. Did something stupid. She was like, "Okay," pulled me to the side, being my auntie, got me in trouble right then and there. Boom, thinking it's over. Nah, not even close. On the way home, looking sad, looking this miserable neighbor, like, "What's wrong with you?" Told him. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you in trouble." Boom, right then and there. Moms come home, tell moms what happened. Ass whooping. She was like, "Oh, you think you got it bad? Wait till your dad get home. Dad come home, whoop my ass again." So I got 3 ass whoopings for the same thing. Like those type of things stick in your memory. Like, man, I ain't never gonna do that stupid shit again. So I just think that fear was there, that constant like get slapped by your mama in the middle of Walmart or Kmart back then. It wasn't even Walmart. Kmart back then, you know, catch your ass whooping. I just think that fear was there. And for me going forward to now, I'm trying to put that fear in my kids. But it ain't the same though, because they know. They know, like out in public, like they could push that envelope a little bit more. Where instead of just grabbing them by the back of the neck, I might be like, "Well, I'll kill you. You say another word, boy." You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think the fear definitely is gone overall as a society. And I just think like the level of respect and manners back then was just better. But it's a different era. Like I said, I think one thing that adds to it is the nucleus family, having the dad and the mom there. And I want to send a shout out to both of y'all there. You know what I'm saying? You guys got that complete family. I know it's hard. Trust me, I'm over here with a complete family. I know it's hard sometimes. I want to drink a beer and take a break, but we need more. We need more nucleus. Like I said, shout out to the single fathers, single moms who got to do it by themselves. I'm sorry you had to suck a mama or suck a daddy, but if you guys should stay together, I'm always for united family. So I think united family is definitely gonna have a better chance for the kids we raising right now. But I just think it comes down to fear. Like you put that fear in their kids, that one good ass whooping, that's gonna go a little bit farther. And I don't have the fear in my own kids that I had that my dad put in me. My dad had this thick leather belt. Oh boy, I never want to get touched with that. But when I did, it was all bad. Oh man, he had that thick one, that old school one, that belt buckle. Oh boy, it was all bad. But yeah, it was little fear level just respect back then. It was just different. We cared about each other a little bit more.
Shout out to grandparents too. Grandparents is putting in that work for this. You know, shout out to them too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
A lot of
Um,
fathers having babies and still want to be out there partying. Drop them off at grandma's house, and she done raised like 3 different generations of kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like the village aspect is gone. You know what I mean? Where it was like everybody takes part in the raising of a child. Now it's like things are separated. Now for what we got going on now, everybody's even more separated because they're telling you can't see your grandparents. You know, you can't take your kids out to see your grandparents. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's less interaction to bridge the gap. And I also think, you know, parenting has changed just because I think our generation was closed-minded, and like you guys were saying, I think they dropped the ball on our parents' generation. I think they dropped the ball on a lot of social issues that we're dealing with right now that maybe we wouldn't have to deal with right now. I understand why, you know what I mean? Because I think it was a mindset of don't make no waves, you know what I mean? And you go work, whatever. And maybe that's why it seems like, you know, like our grandparents' generation, I think, was more proactive in social issues than our parents' generation.
right,
I think that's when things got laid back, and it was just more about, well, I mean, you're just surviving, like day to day, raising your kids, doing whatever they got to do. And I think compared to what we got to go through raising kids with the climate of well, we're all you know what I mean, we're all minorities in some way, what they're seeing on TV, and we have to educate them and navigate them through a stretch that I feel I wasn't navigated through. Like I wasn't raised to know what we know now about some police. I was raised like the police officer is your friend. You
right,
always run to a cop. And now I'm teaching my kids somewhat of the opposite. I'm not saying they're bad, but at the same time, you need to watch out. You know what I
right,
mean? Because what happened to, you know, said person on TV could happen to you next. You know what I mean? They have to be more woke because the world is more of a scarier place. And I think when I was a child, you could be chilling out front in the hood, and it's like the world wasn't that scary of a place than it is now.
right. Why do you think that is? You think it's because we have the internet now? Like I grew up, I remember the internet coming to AOL, like, dee, doo, dee, like that's something for the adults. Take 5 hours to get on the internet or whatever. And now it's just at our fingertips with smartphones or whatever. You think it's a more scarier place now because we know we have the information in our fingertips, or do you think it's always been a scarier place? But we used to hear those stories like, hey, if you see that white van, be careful. You might get one kid or two kids snatched up, but now it's just in our face all the time. So we see those more stories. You think it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is it more scarier now, or has it always been as scary?
Well, let me go because then I'm gonna take a leak real quick. I think that you can't lie to today's generation because of, like you said, the information that's at their fingertips. So to me, this might be, now I'm not saying that they're not getting misled by some things in media and videos and things like that, but there's so much information out there today. They might be the wokest generation in a long time. You know what I mean? Because in ways of, you can't lie to them. You can't tell them, okay, this is what's going on. They're just going to pick up a tablet or a phone or log on the computer and say, no, it's not.
Right,
Look, like, here's the video. It didn't happen like that. And what are you going to say?
right,
It's like everything is there. I mean, all facts is there, video is there, whatever. I mean, if you need to know something, like, okay, I need to know the transcript of what um Floyd said to the police word by word. They can get that. And then later on, when someone says something, they'll be like, no, that's not true. Then this is why. That's just an example. But what I'm saying is, like, and they can do that with everything because it's just, the internet is just easier than it's ever been to get that type of information. Go ahead, CP.
Yeah, I think I think it's dangerous. I think it's more dangerous because, like you said, they could get a hold of more stuff. They could get a hold of everything, positive and negative things, and for some reason people don't grow to believe what their parents say until they get older. You know what I'm saying? So right now, the social media, when they're young, the social media be winning because they're doing things a lot cooler. You know what I'm saying? It's more action. Whereas what their parents is telling them is boring. Like I always be thinking to myself, like I wonder why when I tell my kids some advice or some information, then somebody outside the house telling them the same advice and information, they listen to them before they listen to me. Like it's like I'll be wondering, like, man, do they think I just stepped on this earth, this age? Like,
Yeah.
they must think like I never been a baby or a teenager or a young person in my 20s. They just think I've just been in my 40s like my whole life. Like I stepped on this earth like 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? So everything I tell them is irrelevant. You know, it's just crazy like that.
Nah, yeah, I get a lot of that too. Like it's not truth until their friend or their cousin vouches for what I said. Like, oh, now it's true. Like, man, he saved you a lot of trouble. But I know I was like that growing up too. Like, okay, pops, that was in your era, not my era. That was in your day, not my day. So